What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got another one by China Unvarnished, man. And this stuff gets good. And here's the crazy effery about this. Bride forced him to buy a Porsche on his wedding day, or no marriage. Groom says, F this. So let's get into this video. Let's go.
这车咱能买得起吗？
我闺蜜她男朋友买的都是宝马，今天这个车不买，咱俩的婚礼你自己看着办吧。
不是珊珊，那边有别的车，咱去买别的车行吗？
不行，我就觉得这个车颜色挺好看的。咋的了？
那边有更好看的颜色，咱去那边看看，行不行？
怎么了？我还不如这辆车是吧？
那边看没有，咱俩的感情怎么拿车比呢？它有可比性吗？没有，行不行？
不行，不行，我说了不行，我就喜欢这辆车。别说话。 轮得着你说话吗？我就喜欢这辆车了。
咱先回去亲戚在酒店等，咱先把婚结，行吗？珊珊？
不行，
咱先把婚给结了吧。
不行，你说啥呀？你们在后面说啥话呀？
人都在等着呢。
等着让他们等着，现在时间到了吗？等着。
现在都11点多了，是不是？
马上中午。
我跟你说，别给我拿感情说
哇，
感情是建立在物质基础上的。你现在都给不了我，你还谈什么以后啊？
出来。 马上中午咱
赶紧筹钱去吧，还想啥呢？你没钱，你走不是？
Okay, is this a skit or is this for real? Man, this is crazy. Really?
有钱吗？啊？
我姐有钱，咱结婚买房，我姐要了很多钱，对不对？我姐也是一家子，我不能一直问她要钱，对不对？
那咱俩好，咱俩一辈子就结婚一次，我不想给自己留下遗憾。
我知道，今天咱是不是来买车？
对呀。
咱去挑别的车，咱按咱经济能力去。对。
不行，我就喜欢这辆。
咱把大文才能买到车，咱先全买好了。你说车真没有多余的钱，行不行？咱挑个代步的车，你看行吗？
你也就你一个弟弟，你没钱，他有钱，对不对？
我说了。
不行，你就别结了，赶紧筹钱去吧，筹钱去吧，是不是男人
Oh, she goes, are you a man or not? God dang, you have a house. What the hell is this entitlement? This entitled, oh. I don't blame the Chinese guys for like rolling out, finding other chicks.
什么情况啊？怎么回事啊？你俩亲戚朋友都在酒店等着了，你们俩吵这干啥呀？
他非要买，
我非要买车，谁结婚不买辆车？你跟我说谁结婚没有买辆车？你结婚没有买车吗？珊，
不是你咋跟我姐说话呢？
我这样说话怎么了？你给我闭嘴啊！你别说了，你少说一句。珊，亲戚朋友都在酒店等着了，咱买车，咱等那个婚礼举行完再说，行不行？不行，你倒想的怪好，我结婚了之后你还会给我买车吗？那问题咱之前也没说买车的事儿，是不是？
对呀。
要不这样吧，我那还有辆小车，你俩先开着，送给你俩了，好不好？
对，先开着吧。
你好意思，就你那小破车，你送给我俩开，你自己开个奔驰，你让我俩开你那小破车，你这算盘打的够响啊！我就说了，今天我和他的婚礼能不能举行，就看这个车买不买了。要不这样吧，咱
Damn the entitlement. I mean, I've been to China. I've been out to deal with chicks like this, or but did entitlement get so bad now? Like for like the wedding, you gotta provide this and that, this and that. Oh, really?
咱先把婚礼举办好，然后呢，就是咱再来说。现在亲戚朋友都在等着呢，他们会看笑话。
对呀。
笑话，你也知道看笑话呀？我结个车，我结个婚，我连车都没有，我都不怕被笑话了，对不对？你赶紧筹钱去吧，站着干啥？行，你既然这样说了，那你看吧，你看上哪辆车了？我就看上这辆车了，我就看上这辆车了，我就觉得，哎，我从门走进来之后，我就觉得这个车我挺喜欢，
就这辆。我上班我要这个车也没用。
你没用，我有用，我想开，我喜欢。
咱想给你买这车，但是这一时也拿不出这么多钱啊。今天你说现在往哪去凑这么多钱买这个车？
那是你们的事儿，你凑不出来钱，你跟我说干啥？你去想办法解决，趁现在婚礼还没有开始，对吧？
马上中午了，快点吧。
咱先把婚礼办了吧，好吧，咱听话。
不行不行，今天这个车我必须要。
王珊珊，你闹够了没有？当这么多人面，你闹够了没有？
咋跟我说话的呀？
我咋跟你说话？
了是不是？
从咱俩刚开始认识，对不对？我试试我钱就来，对不对？我把我给你。
What?
不应该。
Oh my goodness! Bride price of 188,000 yuan. Holy moly! I mean, dang. That's a lot of money, man. Dang. He even paid for a bride price. Damn.
我1分钱不少都给你了吧？
那是应该的，你要明白那是应该的，好不好？别吵了，
就连我自己的改口费，你让我先拿出来2万，我拿了没？也拿了吧？今天结婚，
应该的。
那么多亲朋友在酒店，对不对？那你要来买车，我想着行，那过来买个代步车，结合咱自己实际情况买辆车就行了，对不对？我过来了，你过来，你给我弄个保时捷，对不对？我去哪能挣到钱买？好，我买不了，你给我说啥？买不了这辆车就不结婚是不是？你是跟车过还是跟我过？
我就不结婚，买不了这车我就不结婚了，怎么地？
行，这你不结婚是不是？是不是？
是。
这婚我还不结了？
你什么意思啊你？
就给我。
回来。
Damn right. Walk away.
啥人呀？这都是。
一起来看一下，这到底是结婚还是谈价格做生意呢？
Is this really a wedding? Or are we haggling over prices like doing business? On August 7th, in Huaibei, Anhui, a wedding farce that made people both laugh and cry unfolded. A couple had been ready to tie the knot, and the groom, following custom, arrived at the bride's home to fetch her. But at the very last moment, an unreasonable demand was raised to add another 130,000 yuan to the bride price. Faced with this sudden pressure, the groom's face turned ashen on the spot. After several attempts to negotiate failed, he directly flagged down a taxi and left. The wedding was thus called off, and he didn't even have time to care about relatives and friends. According to people familiar with the matter, this groom actually took the marriage extremely seriously, and had already done his utmost to meet the woman's conditions before the wedding. At her request, he had bought a house and a car in advance. The starting price of the car was around 300,000 yuan, and buying an apartment in Huaibei would cost at least 600,000 yuan. Think about it, a young man in his early 20s managing to cover these two big expenses in a short time very likely had already drained his parents' retirement savings. Yet on the very day of the wedding the woman suddenly demanded an additional 130,000 yuan in bride price. For an ordinary family, this was simply a bottomless hole. If he truly had the ability to produce it, over 1 million yuan had already been spent beforehand. If it could be scraped together, they would not have let everything already invested go down the drain over a mere 130,000 yuan. Obviously, the money simply couldn't be produced. The groom pleaded on the spot, hoping both sides could negotiate a solution, but the woman's attitude was firm, with not the slightest concession.
Yo, guys, man. I don't know, man. In China, I'd be like, no bride price. None of this. The demands are just crazy. For the Chinese guys, I'd be like, yo, just take your passport and go find another chick. If you want an Asian chick, you got the Philippines, you got Vietnam, you got all these other countries. And they're not going to ask for a bride price. And the women would actually learn your language, especially if you go get, someone that's still, fertile, like in their early 20s. Why dealing with all these, I'm not saying all Chinese women are like this, but man, why deal with this crap? Why?
With the stalemate dragging on, the groom finally lost patience and left in anger. People cannot help but ask, isn't the amount of the bride price something that should be agreed upon before the wedding? Since they had already reached the stage of holding the ceremony, Why couldn't they complete it happily? A last-minute price hike feels like coercion, which makes people extremely uncomfortable. In fact, regarding the bride price, the state has long discouraged high bride prices. Of course, if both parties are willing, and within his means the man wishes to give the woman's parents some money as a sign of respect, that is not out of the question. But the key is that everything must be communicated in advance, not used as blackmail at the critical moment of the wedding pickup with an attitude of, no added money, no leaving the house. From the groom's perspective, this last-minute markup delivered at least 3 heavy blows. First, he had no psychological preparation whatsoever, as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over his head. Second, the extra 130,000 yuan in cash was simply beyond the groom's family, as after buying a house and a car, where would an ordinary family find spare cash? Third, being asked to raise the price in front of everyone. How would his friends view this marriage? Wouldn't they think the relationship was stacked up entirely with money? No one would be willing to accept that. For precisely these reasons, the groom chose to turn around and leave, even at any cost. The result was that the woman's family instead fell into embarrassment, completely at a loss. But in my view, the fact that this wedding did not take place can be considered a kind of good fortune. If it had been forced through, what followed would likely have been utter chaos and endless conflict.
Yep, the relationship would have been, how come you're not making enough money? You're not making enough money. Oh, I need this car. And yeah, the husband is trying to, hustle and make the money, and adds more pressure to the husband. And this is what I'm seeing with some of these women, like just added pressure, like need to make. No. What happened to supporting your man? What happened to, hey, you'll bring home the bacon and then we'll make do. But no, there's this entitlement.
Now, many people in China have a question. Should bride price be required or not?
No.
My attitude here is if bride price is absolutely demanded, then this marriage should not happen.
Damn right.
Why do I say this? First of all, I'm not saying to firmly oppose bride price. I think this matter should be looked at from 2 different situations. The first, if the man voluntarily wants to give bride price, I think this bride price is completely acceptable. Why? I think this is an expression of love and also an expression of the man's sincerity toward this marriage. But if this bride price is firmly demanded by the woman, and the demand is made that if there is no bride price, then she will not marry.
I think it should not be given, period. She needs to prove herself. And this is what happens when some of these guys, you lead with your wallet, and it's like from the start, it's an effed up relationship because everything's about money. It's not about like love or respect. All this has got to be earned. But I don't know, over there in China, dang, bride price? I say start marrying some other cultures. They're not going to ask for a bride price. And if you voluntarily want to give them a bride price, you can voluntarily give it to them. But most of the other countries, holy moly. I don't blame for a lot of the Chinese guys now even going overseas to find wives, just like around the world. The expat community, or we call it the passport bros. They're like, yeah, screw this.
Let us imagine, under what circumstances would the woman raise such a demand for bride price? It must be because she feels that the groom or the groom's family is not good enough for her. So she raises this as a kind of material compensation. Then let us imagine for such a girl who demands bride price.
That means she's not for you. That means she does not respect you. That's what that tells me. So it's time to kick her 304 ass into the streets. That's what's going to have to happen, guys.
If the man really gives the bride price, will she, because of this bride price, change from originally looking down on this man, accept him, or suddenly liking him? I want to say she still will not look up to this man. And precisely because of this bride price, it also brands the man with a mark. Why? Because you indeed truly spent money to marry this wife. So it means you're not worthy of the woman's family. I also want to advise such girls, if you really look down on him, then why do you want to marry such a person? Is it merely because of tens of thousands of yuan in bride price? Wouldn't that be the same as selling yourself off in disguise? At the same time, I also want to advise all the man's families. If from the very start of marriage, you are willing to sign such an unequal marriage contract, I think you're not only cheapening yourself, but even cheapening your whole family, including your father and mother. You are equal to admitting that in this marriage relationship, you are not good enough for this girl. Let us think, after the bride price is given, will you and this girl then become equal? Will you then be worthy of her? If instead of spending such a sum of money, it will be better to save this money. You can study well, earn money well, improve your own abilities, broaden your own vision, and meet a fate more suitable for you. I think this is the wise choice. Do you agree with my opinion? Welcome to leave your thoughts in the comment section. I very much look forward to hearing your voice. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.
Yep. So yeah, it's crazy what stuff going on around the world in China. And yeah, shout out to China Unvarnished. But yeah, if she's asking for more bride price money and bride price this, bride price that, she ain't for you, man. It's time to just kick her ass to the streets, and you guys need to go somewhere else. Find your options. You as guys, you have lots of options. So here we go. All right, so if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next